Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thank you for coming out tonight. We'll call this June 20th, 2024 full council meeting to order. At this point in time, we will have a moment of silence. This is a time that you can be still, reflect, or I use this time to pray to my God. We'll have 60 seconds. And then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, if you would, face the flag, repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay. Ms. Skelton, will you give us a roll call, please?
Mr. George.
Here.
Ms. Barraza.
Here.
Ms. Young. Mr. Olson. Here. Mr. Bradley.
Here.
Mr. Westcott.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gray.
Here.
Mr. Keller. Here. Mayor Teague.
Here.
Mr. Smith. Aye. And myself. You have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, you have the minutes as presented. I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the minutes will be approved. At this point in time, Ms. Ashley Rogers come forward to give us our finance report from, I didn't say your title, Finance Director, Ms. Ashley Rogers.
Good evening. I have the May financials for you guys tonight. Our general fund revenues were $1,698,681. Year to date, we are 3.16 above budget. That was $1,130,319 of sales tax and turnback, and $275,161 for franchise fees and permits. Here we have the revenue comparison for the city and county tax year to date. You can see here the variance from 23 to 24. We are at an increase of 1.78% over prior year for the city and 7.85% increase for the county. For the actual to budget analysis, the city is below budget for 2.95%. Our county turnback is 1.9% above budget. The May expenditures was $1,956,176. Our personnel-related expenditures were $1,577,409. This is a jump from the usual months, but this was a 3 payout month for payroll instead of the usual 2. Our utilities and other were $378,767. We are 6.21% above budget year to date. Our May revenue for the street fund was $1,177,167. That is $698,521 of the 2021 sales tax. We have $328,504 for the state turnback and ad valorem tax. That's $146,289 in interest, The half-cent road sales tax was $258 of a correction, and we have $2,200 for the street cutting permits. The street operating revenue is 18% above projections, 9% above if interest is not considered. Our May expenditures for the street fund were $246,979 for operations. That's personnel related of $183,002 and $63,977 for utilities and other. For the May capital spending from the street fund, we had $310,096. That was the cost remaining on 3 trucks, the SkyTrack and the LeafBack. And then the sales tax expenditures were $896,698. That's still more on the downtown improvements, some general sidewalk maintenance, drainage maintenance, and pavement preservation. For May in the Economic Development Fund, we had $131,763 in revenues. That's $99,789 of the sales tax and $27,474 in interest and $4,500 in rent. We did not have any May expenditures from the Economic Development Funds. The balance of the various economic development funds as of May 31st is $5,863,689. You can see the breakdown here of the 4 funds. The Capital Assets Fund, we had interest income for $2,039 in May. For the expenditures, we had $99,973 for building improvements, $2,819 for the airport apron improvements, and $5,113 for the Russellville Soccer Complex power upgrades. And then here we have your 2021 1-cent sales tax. The unspent balance at May 31st is $21,756,690. And then across the bottom, you can see how it's split from the 70, 10, 10, and 10 between street, RFD, RPD Capital, Parks, and the Econ Development Funds. That wraps it up.
Thank you very much. Anyone
Thank
have
you,
any
guys.
questions? Thank you, Ms. Rogers.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you. In the mayor's report, we have a consideration of an appointment for David Jackson to the Civil Service Commission. I'll entertain a motion. Have a motion to approve by Mr. Olson.
Second.
Have a second by Mr. Keller. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, Mr. Jackson, we will move. I also want to add, we had talked at this very in-depth, I think, in the finance, but not everyone will watch that meeting online. Just want our citizens to know that we have, this week, we called in Waste Management. We've put them on notice verbally and in written form that if they were not caught up by end of day of this week, we would move towards an effort to go against what's called a performance bond and hire a supplemental contractor to help catch them up. And we have the ability to do that in the future as far as our, if they are caught up on Friday, they're okay. But we did let them know that if there were situations that happened as in this past week, that we would move forward against their performance bond and act accordingly in a right way on behalf of our citizens. So wanted to let everybody know that in a public forum. Appreciate everybody. All right, departmental report, Chief Sloan. He's going to visit with us just verbally here for a little bit, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thank you for having me here tonight and allow us to talk about the fire department. You know, that's always one of my favorite things to do. I'm going to do it a little different tonight because I know we get into time elements and I always get accused of taking too much time. So I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to hit a couple of the highlights. And really, these relate to opportunities that you guys and the citizens of Russellville have given us. We have been very, very busy taking advantage of those opportunities. Beginning of last year, you allowed us the opportunity to go in partnership somewhat with the county and Polk County EMS, providing transport for the city. That has been an outstanding success in every way, both for the city and for the citizens in the county. We have the best relationship that we've had in my history, which is
Long time.
a little significant, with Polk County and with Polk County EMS in specific. We really are working well together. They help us when we need help. We help them when they need help. And it is the citizens, both in the city and in the county, that are benefiting from that. So we put two ambulances in service last year. At the beginning of this year, we added the third. We are about to wear out that first ambulance that we purchased, which was a used, is the best we could find at the time, just during COVID, used ambulance. However, we, again, go back to opportunity. You guys have allowed us to, almost a year ago, order 2 new ambulances. And so we should be taking delivery of those in August. That's the last we heard anyway. So we are looking forward to that. That'll give us 3 frontline really good units and 1 really good dependable reserve. So that's going to be an outstanding opportunity. The other highlight is the training center. I hope, if you haven't had the opportunity, that you will take the opportunity and make the opportunity to come out and see it. It's out just north of RPD's training site by the airport, behind the armory. Outstanding facility. We've never had anything like that before. And so when I talk about being busy, not only are we adding these services and we are working so hard on the EMS side, we are also working harder than we've been working in a long time, been able to work in a long time on the fire side. And some of those low frequency, high risk things where people get hurt, this is really allowing us to, set fires. It's an active live burn training center. We get to pull hose. We get to put our guys through the actual movements in practice and under a controlled situation, so that when it's not controlled, that muscle memory is there and they can make the right decisions. When they're under pressure, under stress, feeling a little bit of panic coming on, we're able to give them the opportunity to practice in that environment while it's controlled. And so that's going to allow them to hopefully be able to respond better if it happens, in the real world. So, man, outstanding facility. Y'all need to come see it. I hope you do soon. Other than that, we're having several retirements. In 92, we doubled in size. 92 and 93, we're still hitting the end of that, where that group of people, which I was one of them, kind of on their way out. So we've had several retirements this year that were kind of unexpected. And so we've got 3 in rookie school right now. I actually had the opportunity to partner with Conway Fire Department. We're doing our rookie school in Conway. Right now they're in EMT school. That's a big plus, but they don't have to go to Camden, for 10 weeks. So they're going to be able to stay home, drive back and forth, and we have a little more control over the actual curriculum and that. So other than that, I'm going to quit because the mayor's already shaking his head. What I want to know is, do you guys have any questions? And really what it goes down to, we couldn't do any of these things without your support and without the support of the citizens. And we recognize that. We know who we work for every day that we come in. We treasure that, and we thank you for that opportunity. And our promise to you is that we're going to do the best we can with that, and we're going to provide everything that we can for the citizens that we work for. Do you have any questions about anything?
Do you have as many people as you need? Are you looking for more people to fill spots? How has the hiring structure been since we've added EMS and some of these new features?
So it has remained about the same. We do have, some more, I guess it's kind of opened the door to some other possibilities from hiring from a paramedic standpoint. We can, starting last year with RPD, we can now recognize experience, whether it's a certified firefighter 1 and 2, or because EMS is one of our core missions, we can also recognize the EMS side. So that's opened up a little bit more. As far as we face the same thing that Chief Ewing does. Our lists, when we tested, used to be 100. We're lucky to have six or seven people that actually complete the entire process. But so far, we're down to a couple on the list right now, but we've been able to hire, again, through that emergency clause and being able to hire certified individuals, it's helped fill that void. So far we're doing okay, to answer your question. But we don't have a lot to choose from. We are scrambling. So, what else?
Are you you're at full staffing right now? What's your future needs? What's that going to look like? I know you want more, but with adding EMS, that's a lot. And I know, Matt, I'm basically asking is everybody's under a lot of strain. Where are you on what you're going to need going forward?
Well, we're putting a lot of effort towards that, even as far as an EMS capital plan. What are we going to need to sustain this into the future? We're in the middle of that right now, which we will be able to present to you guys. We let need drive, what we need as far as investment. In other words, call volume, those kind of things. I don't see, depending on the casino or development in general, maybe I shouldn't say that specifically casino, but development in general, I think we're doing really well with what we have right now. We do have a few specific needs. I think if you're talking about expansion because of the EMS, it really comes with call volume that's produced by that development. So until then, and we do need to think about that depending on how close we get to that. But what else? Anything else? Mr. Keller, you're sitting quietly down there.
Well, I know that at one point in time that we talked about, I think you said it was in Morrilton, they had something where folks were graduating high school with their Fire 1 and potentially Fire 2, and were able to go out and, with those certifications, get a job right at a high school. Mm-hmm. But we had some barriers between being able to hire folks right out of high school. Is that something that we're still working to resolve, to maybe tap into those pipelines of kids who I want to fight fires. This is what I want to do with my life, and try to get them into our, to our department, immediately.
Yes, and that's a great question because we have talked about it, and the steps that we've taken so far, Civil Service has approved that we can hire down to 18 now. We have sent members of our department to Morrilton schools to visit with the students in that program. Same thing here in Russellville. So absolutely, that is an untapped resource that, state law allowing us to hire down to 18, especially giving those kids like you're talking about, some of them just know. They know from, and basically that's a track. So like in Russellville, around 8th, 9th grade, they start deciding. So we're trying to catch them at 8th, 9th grade so that they have the time to, pursue, whether it's EMT. I know in Russellville they can graduate with EMT, which is huge. We would like to work with the school to eventually move towards offering firefighter 1 and 2. That's another thing that this live fire training center would allow us to do. But right now we're talking to them, and we actually sent people to Morrilton High School to talk to those students too. So yes, we're actively recruiting. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Chief.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Thank you all.
All right, moving on to Personnel Committee. Mr. Gray, you have anything?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Westcott, Chairman, do you have anything?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. From our meeting this evening at 5:30, there were 3 items forwarded to the Finance Committee, or forwarded to the council, rather. Item number 1 is an appropriation request from the City General Fund Reserve, the sum of $7,842, which is a pass-through of a grant proceeds to reimburse the purchase of EMS equipment and supplies. And we present item number 1 as a motion to adopt.
All right, I have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 1 will carry.
Item number 2 is consideration of a reimbursement request from Main Street Russellville for the first quarter 2024 expenses in the amount of $15,000. And we present item number 2 as a motion to adopt.
All right, I have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 2 will carry.
Item number 3 is consideration of a resolution that would waive competitive bidding and authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer to sign an agreement with LRS South LLC, or CARDS, C-A-R-D-S, River Valley Incorporated, for temporary trash collection and disposal for residential solid waste services. And we present item number 3 as a motion to adopt.
All right, I have a motion. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 3 will carry.
From our meeting last week, item number 1 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer to sign a 1-year extension to the lease agreement with City Corporation for the operation of the City of Russellville's water and sewer system and for other purposes. And we present item number 1 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 1 will carry.
Item number 2 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the mayor and city clerk treasurer to enter into an agreement with Hard Rock Construction Incorporated for the construction services for the Ridgewood Drainage Improvement Project for the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. We present item number 2 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 2 will carry.
Item number 3 is consideration of a resolution that would accept a bid from McConnell Construction LLC on behalf of the Russellville Municipal Airport for the construction of the taxiway Bravo and drainage improvements, authorizing the mayor and city clerk treasurer to enter into an agreement with McConnell Construction LLC for said improvements and for other purposes. And we present item number 3 as a motion to adopt.
I have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 3 will carry.
Item number 4 is consideration of a resolution that would authorize the selling of surplus personal property to the unincorporated town of Moreland, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This will be in the amount of $26,100, and we present item number 4 as a motion to adopt.
It sounded right to me. Was there a problem with number 4 was outdated? This was your description, it was the same price, nothing was different, right? This is number 4. It's 26-1, that's what Mr., yeah, that's what, okay. So, okay. All right, I have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 4 will carry.
Item number 5 is an appropriation request from the City Street Fund Reserve, the sum of $12,371.80 to be used as a pass-through of an insurance claim payment from Shelter Insurance to reimburse for the replacement of a light pole damaged in an accident. And we present item number 5 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 6 will carry.
Item number 6 similarly is an
Or item 5, I'm
appropriation
sorry.
request from the City General Fund Reserve, the sum of $2,194.27 to be used as a pass-through of an insurance claim payment from the Municipal League Vehicle Program for the repair of 2 police department vehicles. And we present item number 6 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 6 will carry again.
Items number 7 and 8 combined. Item number 7 is a reappropriation request from the reserves of the 2021 Economic Development Infrastructure Fund, the sum of $137,039.27 to be used to purchase 20 Motorola APX 6700/800 model portable radios, ... It was previously approved on appropriation number 23-2127. Similarly, number 8 is a reappropriation request from the 2021 Sales Tax Capital Fund in the sum of $37,262.35 to be used to purchase an AWIN radio repeater to improve the radio communication system for the fire, police, and public works staff. We present items number 7 and 8 as a motion to adopt.
All right, I have a motion on item 7 and 8. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 7 and 8 will carry.
Item number 9 is a pass-through appropriation request from the reserves of the Lattimore Tourist Home Special Fund at the amount of $3,649.29 to be covered the remaining invoices in the implementation of Phase 2 of that restoration project. And we present item number 9 as a motion to adopt.
Have a motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 9 will carry.
Mayor, that's the last on our portion. I yield the floor back to you.
Thank you, Chairman. Moving on to unfinished old business, item 1 will be an ordinance submitting to the voters of the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and other affected persons the question of annexation to said city of Russellville certain contiguous territory as described by the legal description and map attached with this ordinance and incorporated by the reference for other purposes. This will be the third and final reading.
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read by title only with a short explanation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sir.
An ordinance submitting to the voters of the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and other affected persons the question of annexation to said city of Russellville certain contiguous territories described by the legal description and map attached with this ordinance incorporated by reference. And for other purposes, this ordinance, if passed, would defines by legal description an area contiguous to the city of Russellville to be proposed for annexation within the city, also sets out the services that would be set out to the annexation area, provides for the ballot, and also sets the date for election of November 5th of 2024.
Motion to adopt.
Have a motion and a second to adopt. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 1 will move forward. Item 2 is a consideration amending the zoning code of the city of Russellville, Arkansas, ordinance number 2443, and for other purposes. This is also a third and final reading that's submitted by the Planning Commission.
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read by title only with a short explanation.
I have a motion and a second on the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Sir?
Ordinance amending the zoning code of the city of Russellville, ordinance number 2443, and for other purposes, this ordinance, if passed, would adopt the following amendments that are attached with this ordinance, incorporate herein by adding Article 1, Section 14, subsection 14.2, amending Article 3, Section 12, both of which address swimming pools, Section 28, which is mobile food vendors, amending Article 6, Section 6.1 regarding off-street parking requirements, subsection 6.1.6 regarding driveways, and also adding and amending definitions contained in the definitions found at Article 12.
Motion to adopt.
I have a motion and a second to adopt. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We have to read item 2A too, correct? It's different.
Yes.
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 All right, moving on to item 2A, it's consideration amendment to the city code of for offenses involving public safety, health, welfare, and Article 2, Chapter 3, Sections 5.3.2 and 5.3.2.1 adopted by ordinance number 2477 for other purposes. This is third and final reading submitted by the Planning Commission also.
I move that we suspend the rules, read one time by title only with a short description.
I have, okay, is this the?
Third reading.
The third reading, yes, so final reading for the final reading, okay. All right, I've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sir?
Ordinance made the city code for offenses involving public safety, health, and welfare, Article 2, Chapter 3, Sections 5.3.2 and 5.3.1.2, adopted by ordinance number 2477, and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would amend the aforementioned code regarding, and would amend the loud noises regulations or code that is within that section as mentioned by adding the amendments to where there would be sound decibel limits based upon the zoning of the property, and would regulate the loud noises through those decibel limits as determined by the table that has the zoning for each category of land within the city.
Motion to adopt.
I have a motion and a second to adopt. Was it you, Ms. Barraza? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 2 will carry. 2A will carry. Item 3 is consideration of an ordinance approving the final plat of Scenic Way Village Phase 1 and accepting the dedication of the easements to the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This is also submitted by the Planning Commission. This is also third and final reading.
Mayor, I move we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read by title with short explanation only for the third and final time.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second on the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sir?
The ordinance approve the final plan of Scenic Way Village Phase 1, accepting dedication of the easements to the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and therein, and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would approve the plat made by Kraft Toll Associates from March 6, 2024. It's attached to this ordinance Exhibit A. Would accept all the dedicated easements on the plat and would authorize a bond to be set by the city engineer, and would set out the process for it being recorded with the county recorder.
Mayor, I move to adopt the ordinance.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Moving on to item 4, consideration of ordinance vacating and abandoning a portion of a 25-foot of North Knoxville Avenue along blocks 5 through 8, block 11. This is Gene Renfro edition, City of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This is submitted by Connect Church and is unanimously recommended by the Planning Commission. This will be the second of 3 readings.
Mayor, I move we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirements, read the second of 3 readings by title and short explanation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sir?
An ordinance vacating and abandoning a portion of a 25-foot right-of-way of North Knoxville Avenue along lots 5 through 8, block 11, Gene Renfro Edition, City of Russellville, Arkansas, and for the purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would vacate a portion of 25-foot portion North Knoxville Avenue along lots 5 through 8, block 12, Gene Renfro Edition, as shown in the aerial attached as Exhibit A, incorporating this ordinance.
Moving on to item 5, consideration of an ordinance vacating and abandoning a 60-foot portion of West 13th Street right-of-way between Lot 4, Block 11, and Lot 1, Block 12. This is the South Lawn Heights Edition, City of Russellville, Arkansas, for other purposes. This is submitted on, by Barrett and Associates on behalf of Eddie Rue. This is unanimously recommended by the Planning Commission. This will also be a second of 3 readings.
Mayor, I move we suspend the rules, read by title and short explanation only for the second of 3 times.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, sir.
An ordinance vacating and abandoning a 60-foot portion of West 13th Street right-of-way between Lot 4, Block 11, and Lot 1, Block 12, South Lawn Heights Addition, City of Russellville, Arkansas, for the purposes this ordinance, if passed, would vacate the aforementioned 60-foot portion that is further described in the legal description in Exhibit A and shown in the aerials attached as Exhibit B and C, which are incorporated herein.
All right. Moving on to item 6 is consideration ordinance vacating and abandoning a portion of West C Street right-of-way between blocks F and G. This is the Hall Edition, City of Russellville, Arkansas, for other purposes. This is submitted by Barrett Associates on behalf of Jim Knight. This is unanimously recommended by the Planning Commission. This is also a second of 3 readings.
Mayor, I move we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read by title and short explanation only for the second of 3 readings.
Have a motion and a second on the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sir?
An ordinance vacating and abandoning a portion of West C Street right-of-way between blocks F and G, Hall Edition, City of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would vacate the aforementioned right-of-way as further described in the legal description in Exhibit A and also as shown or depicted in the aerial attached as Exhibit B, both of which are incorporated herein by reference.
All right, moving on to, okay, moving on to new business. We will, on item 1, we'll open up a public hearing. Is anyone here to speak on item 1A? Yes, sir. Okay, sir, okay. If you would come to the podium here, state your name, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak, sir. Before the gentleman, I forget your name, sir, comes.
My name is Sam Andrews.
Sam Andrews. I just want the council to know that Mr. Andrews and I and his sister met before council meeting, and we have set up a meeting with myself. Well, we are going to set up a meeting with myself, Glenn Newman, Sarah John Dahl, and Dave Garza from Barrett and Associates with this gentleman and try to explain a little bit more, hear him in a more in more detail, just to let the council know that.
Anyway,
Thank you, sir.
We
Go ahead.
were not notified of the Planning Commission meeting last month that apparently approved that, but yet we noticed the legal notice and then an article in the newspaper about this meeting today. And we've tried to talk to Mr. Garcia about it. We went by the City Planning Commission, but the lady wasn't there that knew anything. We talked to the people, but they didn't know anything about it. And we don't understand why they want to close 60 foot of First Street. It just doesn't make sense to us. And we're not even sure why they want to close that Mountain View Street. The guy's building 2 houses on that lot. You'd think he would need a street to go into the 2 houses, but Mr. Garcia says they're going to have a private driveway to the 2 houses. Anyway, that doesn't really make sense. But anyway, at the current time, we're against the closing of the 60 foot of First Street.
Okay.
Wait.
Anyone have any questions for this gentleman?
And we don't understand why we weren't given notice, a written notice about the Planning Commission meeting. That just, because our property is definitely mentioned in the legal notice in the paper.
So this is adjacent to your property next
Yeah.
to?
Yes. Yeah, we own the lots on First Street.
Well, Miss Lisa will be reaching out to you. We will set up a meeting. We will take time to sit down with you in a more detailed look at the map, and we'll have everyone there. And then I will also let you know from that meeting with us that we would let you know next month when we have our agenda prep session that will go into the third and final reading, that we would definitely invite you back if you still have concerns to speak more in depth with the council. Thank
Okay.
you so much for coming out tonight.
You're welcome.
And I look forward to meeting with you, and Miss Lisa will be reaching out to you and your sister, and we'll accommodate your schedule, okay? Thank you so much for coming out. All right. Anyone else to speak on this? All right, I will now close the public hearing. All right. Item 1A is a consideration of an ordinance vacating and abandoning a 50-foot right-of-way of Mountain View Street adjacent to lots 119 and 120, and the last 60 feet of the 50 feet right-of-way of East First Street between lots 85 and 93, and running into Mountain View Street at lots 119 and 120 of Ray Lee Jr.'s fourth subdivision, City of Russellville, Arkansas, for other purposes. This is submitted by Barrett and Associates on behalf of Todd Barnett. This is recommended by the Planning Commission. This does not show, is this the first reading, or? Okay, this is actually first reading, okay. Okay.
Mayor, if I may, before I consider making a motion, would you certainly help my memory? What kind of sense of urgency was expressed regarding item 1A from the petitioner?
Mr. Garza, is there any urgency at all in this matter? Mr. Garza, who's also represents Barrett and Associates, does not say that there's any urgency at all.
So something I would like to say, make sure that the gentleman who came and spoke with us this evening, first, thank you for coming and speaking to us. And since this is new business, the only thing that we would more than likely potentially do this evening would be read it. We wouldn't be making a vote on anything. So no official action will be taken prior to you being able to meet with the mayor and his staff and the applicant, and then coming to agenda prep next month. I just want you to know we're not taking any sort of official action tonight, more than likely. I mean, it's, I don't see that.
I spoke to him before and told him that we're just reading, so. And first off, we've got to have a motion, or it will die on the table.
Mayor, recognizing that the clock starts ticking, a clock of sorts starts ticking, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the first of 3 readings by title only with a short explanation.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second on the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, sir.
An ordinance vacating and abandoning a 50-foot right-of-way of Mountain View Street adjacent to lots 119 and 120, and the last 60 feet of the 50-foot right-of-way of East First Street between lots 85 and 93, and running into Mountain View Street at lots 119 and 120 of the Ray Lee Jr.'s fourth subdivision, City of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would vacate the aforementioned and described right-of-way, and it was further shown in the aerial as Exhibit B and further described in the legal description as Exhibit A, both of which are incorporated into this ordinance by reference.
Thanks, sir.
Could we get the address for this location?
Do you have the actual address, Miss John Dahl? 4100 Gum, 4100 Gum Street?
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right. Moving on to item 2, we have consideration of an ordinance accepting the dedication of the easements to the City of Russellville, Arkansas, for other purposes recommended by the Planning Commission. This is the replat of the Owens Corning subdivision, 1089 Tyler Road.
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with a reading requirement, read the first of 3 readings by title only with a short explanation.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sir.
An ordinance approving the replat of Owens Corning subdivision and incidental subdivision, accepting the dedication of the easement to the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would accept the easements contained in the plat, which is attached with this ordinance as Exhibit A, and would accept the replat, and would also authorize a bond to be set in the form amount approved by the city engineer, and sets out the recording of the replat with the county.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to item 3 is consideration of an ordinance accepting the dedication of the easements to the city of Russellville, Arkansas for other purposes. It's recommended by the Planning Commission. This is the final plat of the West Harrell Edition, which is 2303 North Arkansas Avenue.
I move that we suspend the rules, read the first of 3 readings by title and a short explanation.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on item 3. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sir.
An ordinance approving the final plat of West Harrell Edition, a minor subdivision, accepting the dedication of the easements to the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would accept the final plat of West Harrell Edition. It's made by Barrett Association back on July 21st of this year, which is attached to Ordinance Exhibit A, incorporated in this ordinance by reference. It would also accept all the easements contained within the plat, would allow the city engineer to set a bond in a form that he would approve, and also sets out the recording process with the county.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to item 4, we have a consideration of an ordinance approving the final plat of Tyler Road Place, a minor subdivision accepting the dedication of the easements of the city of Russellville, Arkansas for other purposes, recommended by the Planning Commission. This is the final plat of Tyler Road Place at 502 Tyler Road.
Mayor, I move we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read the first of 2 readings by title and short, or
Did you say
Title.
first of 2, sir?
first of 2.
First of 2, yes, sir.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, sir.
An ordinance approving the final plat of Tyler Road Place, a minor subdivision, accepting the dedication of the easements to the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for the purposes this ordinance, if passed, would accept the final plat of Tyler Road Place, which is a minor subdivision, as shown by the plat made by Barrett Associates on May 13th, 2024, which is attached to this ordinance, Exhibit A, incorporated into this ordinance by reference. It would also accept the easements dedicated to the city of Russellville that are also shown in that plat, would set out the authority of the city engineer to set a bond in the amount to be approved by the city engineer, would set out the recording process with the county of this plat.
Thank you, sir. Item 5 is consideration of the ordinance rezoning certain realty in the city of Russellville, Arkansas for other purposes located at 502 Tyler Road. On behalf of Clarence and Sarah Harbor, unanimously recommended by the Planning Commission. This has been requested that this be read one time only.
Mayor, no hardships appearing from the neighboring properties. I move that we suspend the rules, dispense with the reading requirement, read one time only by title with a short explanation.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Is there discussion?
Is there any discussion?
In watching the Planning Commission from earlier this month, there was one of the adjoining property owners that came and spoke against both items 4 and 5. It was the owner of a machine shop next to it. Am I incorrect on that, Mr. Garza? Yes, yeah.
Mr. Garza, will you
'cause
come to the podium as you know how to do?
Or Mr. Westcott, as the liaison to the Planning Commission, can give us what he thinks about it, what happened as well.
So the owners next door to the west, which has the industrial coatings
Okay.
company. They do industrial coatings for different buildings for floors and stuff. So she came up and she had a concern as to what type of people were going to be renting the units in there. Mr. Westcott and I talked to her after the meeting, and one of the things that I had said that you can't really dictate ethnicity or who's going to live there. You can't make a motion based on that.
Right.
And so that's kind of where it was. So she was going to talk to the owner. The owner, Clarence, tried to call her, got a secretary. Secretary said she's not there. She never returned the call. She never returned my call or called me back. Because we made, I said, I gave her my card and said, hey, call me anytime. And that's kind of where it went. And she never did call me back.
Is this,
Okay, go ahead.
is this the property, this is the property where it was emergency clause because
Was
of
asked for, yeah.
squatters or something?
Oh, we took that out. They can't get the building permit to renovate the existing rock building into a duplex because it's not zoned for that. So if we'd eliminate that, read it one time only, we'll wait 30 days, then they can start the renovation, as opposed to waiting 3 months to start the renovation. And it already has all the infrastructure, it has the parking, and it's not changing any of the drainage. It's an existing building. They're going down the inside and gutting it and then dividing it into two.
Okay, so no emergency clause?
No, we pulled the emergency clause on this.
Now, Mr. Garza, I don't mean to quibble, but
Yes, sir.
And I will admit that I'm not privy to anything in any sort of conversation that happened outside of the meeting.
Yep.
But in watching the Planning Commission from the beginning of this month, what they seem to articulate as their concern was not, I think as you put it, a specific demographic of people moving in. I believe that their concern that they articulated was that they are an existing manufacturing and industrial property, and they're concerned that a residential property being placed right next to them could then cause new tenants living there to have issues with the sound coming from their business. And as Ms. John Dahl pointed out in the meeting as well, we now have decibel limits that have to be maintained and whatnot. So I think that their worry was not someone of a specific type was going to come in. Their worry was that the person who's now going to come and live next to their industrial business was going to report them for noise, whereas now they don't have that worry. Did I misunderstand it?
That was one of her points. The second was after we were talking to her, that she made the second reference that she had people cut their chain link fence and come in and steal some of their property. Now, when we talked about the noise, they're surrounded by residential already, and especially in front. And I think we talked about the decimal levels, and Tyson has a higher decimal level than these do. If you're going to get a complaint about noise, you're going to get a complaint, as I explained to the Planning Commission, for those that have an invested value. So those are the homeowners. If you own the home there, and there's a lot of noise, of course you have an investment in that home, so you're going to complain, or you might complain. Now, when we asked her, has anyone ever complained, she said no one's ever complained. So the people that are going to be living here are renters. They don't have a vested interest. So there's going to be a little bit of difference there.
Mr. Westcott?
I would add that the one who was present at the Planning Commission level who expressed a concern has communicated to me by telephone that those concerns are no longer a concern. So from my knowledge of everybody involved in the process, there's no hiccup to what we're about to do.
Ms. John Dahl, you're shaking your head.
Right.
Yes, and you're comfortable. Would you come to the podium real quick and maybe clarify that?
Absolutely. When I talked to her at the end of the Planning Commission meeting, kind of explained what our rules and regulations were, also explained that there is now a landscaping buffer in addition to the fence that's going to be at the rear of the property. That kind of subsided some of her worries there. But additionally, I had talked to her about the surrounding properties, that there'd never been any complaints on her business at this point, so I wouldn't anticipate that there's going to be any future ones as a result. Our department didn't hear from her after that, so I would concur that what Eric has just relayed is probably that they don't have any more complaints against this or objections to it.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, I just want to toot you guys' horns. Good job. That was, I mean, there was a lot of discussion about this property that, you know, a citizen had concerns, and more often than not, people complain about bureaucracy, but these are the reasons that we have these areas in place for our citizens to be able to say, hey, what about this, what about that? And from the developer to code enforcement,
To planning
planning
commission.
commission to council, we've all had a hand in assuaging concerns of the citizenry. So good job.
Mr. Keller? Anything else? I didn't know if you had any more concern. We were good. Any other discussion? I apologize that I didn't ask for discussion first. Thank you, though. Thank you. All right, so we have a motion and a second to read one time only. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, sir.
An ordinance rezoning certain realty in the city of Russellville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. This ordinance, if passed, would rezone property located at 502 Tyler Road. As further described in the parcel number by the assessor's office is 858-00031-001C, as further shown in the attachment labeled Exhibit A, and incorporate, all of which are incorporated reference to this ordinance, would rezone it from M1 to R2.
Motion to adopt?
Have a motion and a second to adopt. Any more discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, this item will carry. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, we will adjourn. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out.